Hi everybody, it's Adam Collingwood here, and welcome to this very short fire day trading webinar. And I'm going to show you in this session how to use the DAX Income Optimiser Strategy to full effect. Okay, I've just got back from a nice 4-5 days in Bordeaux, and this morning immediately saw an opportunity to sell the DAX, and I sold up here. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk you through exactly what happened. So first of all, I saw an opportunity to just go in, which I took a picture of this in Snagit, and you can see I sold the DAX. You see this line here? Okay, this is a 1-minute chart of the DAX, and this I sold at 12,241, expecting the price to drop. Okay, all on this line here. Okay, so I'm going to show you where I placed the stop, which just happens to be up here. Okay, I did put an alarm there as well, but the stop was here because I was looking at the screen. But I did actually sell on a much shorter time frame. Okay, so I sold as tightly as I possibly could on the DAX Income Optimiser Strategy on a 10-second time frame. Okay, just to keep the stop as tight as possible. And then what we do is we wait for the DAX to cross through. It crosses through on the 1-minute time frame, and just keeps dropping and dropping and dropping. Okay, now I'm going to go back to so this was this morning at 9:18. Okay, so if we go back and have a look at this is what it looked like then. So you can see here it was 9:18, and that's where I was looking to sell. So the price hadn't gone through this level at all at that point, but I was looking to sell from there. Go back to the chart again. Of course, a bit further on, by selling here, let's just see where the DAX has gone to. So that was my risk. So let's just go into annotate, and what are you looking for? Draw. Okay. So here was the opportunity to sell, although I did this on the 10 seconds, so I'm going to scroll all the way back in a second, just show you that. Then the stop was up here, so this point here. So the risk was that if the price did start to go back up again, we would have closed the trade at that point. Okay, so we're only really looking at a 10 absolute maximum of like 15 pip risk here. Okay, and this was all based, let's go back to, well, I won't go back to it now because it's in Snagit, but it was all down to the fact that it had hit a certain level of resistance. Okay, and it's knowing when the price hits that level when to take the trade on. So that was this morning. The time now's what, just gone past 12. It's 12:15, and what we've seen is the price is just gone all the way down, and it's just kept dropping. Okay, in fact that's at 11:20, so the price had dropped to what, so 12,076, and if we just scroll back up again, and we can see the price now is at 12,051. So let's have a look at the spread bet ticket. So go into here. don't worry, I just leave these on at the moment, that's fine. So the spread bet ticket, so you can see at the moment there's an almost 190, yeah, 190 pips we've got at the moment here. Okay, let's just get rid of that bit at the top there. So annotate, clear, the old drawings. So what we've got here is an open level, as I said, which was 120241, and the price here is 12055. Okay, so almost 200 pips here, which is not a bad little trade, is it, considering we've only risked between 10 to 15 pips. So if we look at the profit here, we can see it's 371.660. Okay, so almost, yeah, so it's about 180 pips at the moment. All right. So it's not a bad start really to the morning or to the trading week, is it? You know, if you see the opportunity, it's a perfect setup for the DAX Income Optimiser strategy, trading off that level of resistance which I showed you before, getting in, selling at 12241 and watching it manually. Let's go back to the chart, and what I'm going to be looking to do is take bank the profit. Now what I'm going to do to bank the profit is, now that the momentum has been very firmly with the DAX, I know it's come down to this level here, support 2. What I will be doing is closing the trade if it crosses above this line here. Okay, now the reason why I'm not closing the trade now is, I mean, I could have closed the trade earlier and banked in 100 pips, or banked 120 pips, or banked 150 pips, or whatever, you know. But you've got to leave trades running. You don't know how much momentum it has. So we've got a clear sell-off this morning. So from selling here, okay, look at what's happened all the way down. There's no need to close the trade because the risk was just here. So where I showed you before, the risk was just between this point and this point. Yeah, and that's been all the reward there, all the way down. Now, you know, I'm not going to tell you that I knew it's going to drop by 200 pips, but you've got to have a strategy that keeps you in the trade to enable you to bank 200 pips or 150 pips or whatever it is. Because how many traders would have got out and said, oh, I banked 50 pips, I'll take that, I'll be happy with that. Well, here was an opportunity to get a lot more by following a strategy, which is to stay in the trade and just go with the flow, go with the momentum. And that's what's happened here. So the worst case scenario is the trade would now be closed at 12.069. Okay, so 12.069. If we go back to here, 12.069, so open of 12.241, so that's what, 172 pips that I'm going to bank there, worst case scenario. So 172 pips, just a little £2 a point, but it's it's just a very, very, very simple trade, and that's the DAX Income Optimiser. So for all of you that are using the DAX Income Optimiser strategies, it's just so important to continue to keep reinforcing. This is what you've got to do. Just keep doing the same thing over and over again, and you will absolutely just clean up. Okay, so I hope you found this useful. In fact, I will go back to that 10-second one. I forgot to do that. Let's just do that now. So 10 seconds, but I will need to do 1,000 units here. So let's go back to, yeah, so this is where the trade was made. Now, of course, that line that I showed you before, which was here, this is what a 1 minute chart looked like, and then I sold on the 10-second chart just because I wanted to get a tight entry as possible. Now that's what it looked like. So the line's there, but of course when you go back, it's disappeared, okay, because that's what happens. So you've got to be in it at that time and see the opportunity setting up. So you won't know now that that's what the case was then. So that was where the line of resistance was, where I sold off there, and this is what it looks like now. Okay, so that was that at that point earlier. So if we zoom in here, okay, so that was at that point earlier. So I sold just as it crossed through here. Okay, see that? Just as it crossed through there, and I was obviously keeping an eye on what was happening on the 1 minute chart, and then it just dropped through. And of course, you got pivot there as well. It dropped through pivot, and you can see the rest here. What's happened? So at no point in this trade was I ever in any danger of losing any money because it was dropping. And I could keep the trade open. Why was I able to keep the trade open? Because I sold in the most strategic place possible, which is where I just showed you before. So by choosing and being patient and waiting for the trade to come to you, look at that beautiful move from here all the way down below the black line, our secret weapon. Look at that, just lovely. When you're selling, that's just a lovely price action there, all the way down, and of course that was at what, 12.0, so 12.089. All right, and just leave the trade open, just to milk as much as you possibly can out of this. So go back to the 1 minute. All right, now this is a prime example. Let's just go back to 200 units. So at the moment the price is 12.052. As I said, I have no idea. I mean, I would expect this to now cross up over here, but I can't say that that would definitely happen. Who knows? The price, I've banked sometimes in a 2-hour session, 400 plus pips, madness. And if I closed too early, I would have missed out on that. I don't know how much, what's going on at the moment, why it's sold off that much. All I do know is that I just sell or buy in the most strategic of places to give myself the best opportunity to bank as much as I possibly can. So this could drop even further, it could even drop to, down here to support 3 or even 11.956, who knows? But I'm in the trade, so I've covered the opportunity to get that by leaving the trade open. So going back to this, sold 12.241, so that could get somewhere near to 200 pips. But otherwise, worst case scenario is I'm going to pick up 170, aren't I? Okay, and that's in monetary terms what you would get from that. So even as small as £2 per point, okay, you're still making a pretty decent profit. Now, if you made, I don't know, £2 a point, if you made 370 quid, just if you're watching this in the UK, I know I've got people watching from all over the world now, but wherever you are, that's a pretty decent start to the day if you were just trading instead of working for a living. So I hope you found this little session useful. If you do, then please press the like button, because then that encourages me to make more of these. If you've got any comments, then please make comments. I do like comments. Any questions that you've got. If you're not using the DAX Income Optimiser at all, then you want to book a trading session with me, then you can do. You can just go to the Financial Traders Cafe website, financialtraderscafe.co.uk, and that tells you about different trading styles that I do in the DAX Income Optimiser, which I've talked about here. But if there's anything else, then just let me know. Hope you enjoyed the session, and I will speak to you again soon.